So there are a wide variety of institutions that will offer funding for your startup, and it's important that we consider the costs and benefits of approaching each of them. So one place you can start with to fund your entrepreneurial venture is specifically your own funding. Now that is probably a scary thought for most of you because if you're watching this, you're taking classes right now. You might not have a ton of your own funding lying around. And again, I don't know you personally, but what I would say is if you do have the capital to be able to finance your own business and you're comfortable with the risk of loss, never invest more than you're comfortable losing. It does provide you the benefit that you have total control, right? If you're the one financing your business, if you're not taking money from anybody else, that means you get to make all the decisions. That might be horrifying to some people. Some people might like to have some oversight. And so for that, and in cases where you don't necessarily have the funding to run it on your own, there are other outlets that you can look to. Right? You can look to get loans, whether it be from a bank or the Small Business Administration. You could look to get grants in a similar context. What these will do for you is provide you an infusion of capital and some oversight, right? Most loans will come with rules such as collateralization, which means that your assets would be turned over to the bank in the event that you go bankrupt. So you have some incentive to make sure things are running effectively. And they also usually come with these things called covenants, which are restrictions on how you're allowed to use the money and on your performance. So you do get the funds, but you are having somebody watching you and keeping a close eye. And if you start to fall behind on those targets, it might mean that you need to pay a higher interest rate on your loan, which is definitely a challenge for some small businesses. Right. The next one that we can think about is from venture capital or from equity investors. So this is a different form of financing where you're going to be getting the funding from someone or a group of people to be able to help you get your startup rolling. But instead of getting periodic interest payments, what they'll be getting is a share of your business. They'll be getting equity in your business. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means two things. One, it comes with the expectation that you might pay them some dividends. In other words, if your business is doing well, you're going to pay out some chunk of what you made to them, sort of as thanks for them investing in your company. You're also going to have a situation where you might have to pay them if you wind up the business, right? Whatever stake they own is money that they get back at the end. And then the last thing, and this is the real challenge for pure blood entrepreneurs who want to make sure that they're maximizing their returns, is that they get some stake in what goes on. Right? If you have a venture capital investor, very often they're going to want to sit on your board of directors. They're going to want to be playing a role in making decisions. And if you're somebody who has a very crystal clear vision of what it is that you want to do, turning to venture capital and turning to equity ownership could be a real challenge for you. It could become difficult to work with those people, and therefore might be difficult to maintain your financing. The last kind of funding that I want to talk about is crowdfunding. This is a relatively new approach, and it works best in creative enterprises. So this would be for things like TV pilots or movies or video games or even collectibles and toys, right? Crowdfunding works really well here because you're going to make a very easily identifiable prototype that can be reviewed and evaluated and taken to market before you've invested your entire wealth into the business. In other words, you're making a one-off. And what crowdfunding allows you to do is instead of getting your money all from one person that's going to sit on your board of directors or from a bank that's going to come with a lot of restrictions, you're getting your money pooled from a bunch of other people, right? People that are willing to pay in $10, $25, $50 to see your project thrive. Now, of course, you would be asking the question, why would they give you that money? Some will do it purely because they believe in you, but a lot of them will need what we call incentives. Right? So if you're going to be going the crowdfunding route, you have to look very carefully at what other entrepreneurs are offering. Are they offering the opportunity to meet you, the creator, and talk about the project? Are they offering, the first demo of a particular video or movie that you're sending out? Structuring these incentives in an intelligent way to ensure you get the funding you need is critical. So there's a lot of different institutions that you can turn to get that funding, and a lot of businesses will turn to a mixture of these in order to be able to best diversify their funding sources. The thing is, all of them have benefits and drawbacks that you need to be paying attention to.